Hey everybody, it is the Angry Honey Badger here, and it is time for Badger's Picks for the week of March 3rd. Let's see who's free this week and which 4 champions I'm going to recommend. Free this week, we're going to get Karthus, Olaf, Soraka, Udyr, Urgot, Vayne, Vladimir, Xin, Ziggs, and Zillion. As for my first recommendation for this week, gonna throw it over to the little fuzzy guy himself, to Ziggs. I like Ziggs, haven't actually seen him as much as you would think at the beginning of the season. I think he got a few small nerfs, you would call them, at the end of Season 4, but he's still in a really good spot, and I think he's probably getting underutilized because of it. A few things he does really well that I've talked about before is his sieging and his clearing, and kind of his kiting almost a little bit. He's got some good disengage and engage when it comes to team fights, and I think people have kind of forgot about this when it comes to playing Ziggs, and I think he should be picked. He should be played. He's a good champion. If you've never played him before, try him out this week. You might be surprised. My next recommendation for this week, gonna throw that one over to Vayne. Now, with the rework of Tristana, we kind of lost Tristana as a hyper carry because of the way her kit has changed. She does really good now job at sieging and pushing turrets over really fast. She does that great. But as for hyper carries, there's really only 2 ridiculous hyper carries for the late game, and Vayne is one of them. So between her and obviously the other one being Jinx, we lack hyper carries. And if you like hyper carries, and if you've never really gotten down with Vayne, you might want to try her out this week. The next champion I'm gonna go with for my picks this week is a champion I have not seen a lot of lately either. That's going to be Karthus. Now, the reason why I'm gonna pick Karthus is because of the state of magic resist in the game. A lot of people don't buy a lot of magic resist. We're also seeing a lot of people play champions like Sion in the top lane, who almost doesn't really need to buy any magic resist if he goes up against an AD laner. He just pretty much stacks armor. And sitting inside of a pool of death from Karthus and or other champions that do AP damage, as long as you're the only main, mage on your team when it comes to that damage, I think a lot of people underbuy and underuse the magic resist items in the game. I think Karthus could be a good pick for this, and if you're playing a late game team comp, once again, we're kind of on that late game thing, if you're playing one of these team comps, Karthus can be very pivotal. He also has done a great job at fighting around objectives, because if everybody gets stuck in a pit and he comes walking in, he does damage to everyone. So if you haven't played Karthus, try him out. And for my final pick for this week, it's going to be a jungler that I actually think is in an okay position currently. I know the jungle is a mess, but I'm going to go with Xin. Now, one reason why I'm going to go with him and say he's okay at the jungle is because he at least can heal up while he is in the jungle with his passive on his W. It does help. The other reason is because of his early ganks. They do a lot of damage, and early ganks are very important right now, I feel, on junglers. It does kind of a lot to get you ahead. It gets you good experience that you don't have to worry about trying to get from the jungle camps that could kill you, and it's just good overall. It helps get your lanes fed and get going, and it's just good for you too. Now, because of these reasons, I think he's slightly viable currently. I know a lot of people have complained, it was just everybody pretty much, that the jungle needs fixed in some way to make everybody better in it again, because no one feels viable. If there are slight tweaks in the future that come to affect all junglers, I think they could favor him as well. So that's another reason. So if you haven't tried him out, I definitely recommend him this week. Those are going to be the 4 champions that I'm going to recommend. Let me know down below in the comments what 4 champions from these bunch you might be trying out this week. If there's a box around any of these pictures right now, that means it will take you to a build or guide of some kind if you click on it. Hopefully I'll be working with the new Zillion real soon. I'm really interested to actually play him a bit more. So far it's been fun, but I need to play him a bit more and figure out what I want to do with him. But other than that, good luck this week on the Fields of Justice.